Let me tell you something powerful. If you stand in a fish market long enough, even if you never touch the fish, people will still smell the fish on you. And if you spend time in a perfume shop, even without spraying perfume, you will still smell good. Life works the same way. The people you stay with, the places you spend your time, the environment around you, slowly, quietly, they become the smell of your life. This is the story of a young man who almost lost his future, not because he was lazy, not because he had no dreams, but because he stayed too long in the wrong environment. In a small town surrounded by dusty roads and busy streets, there lived a young man named Daniel. Daniel was known as a quiet person. He was respectful, hardworking, and he carried something inside him that many people could not see: dreams. Big dreams. He dreamed about changing his life. He dreamed about helping his family. He dreamed about becoming someone who would inspire others. But dreams alone are not enough. And sometimes the place you stand in life slowly decides the direction you walk. Every morning, Daniel woke up early. The town was already alive with noise. Vendors shouting, cars passing, people rushing to work. And near the center of the town, there was a very busy place, the fish market. The fish market was always loud. People bargaining, workers carrying boxes of fish. The smell of the ocean mixed with the smell of raw fish filled the air. Daniel often spent time there with a group of friends. They were not bad people. They were simply people who had stopped believing life could change. Every day they stood in the same place, talking, laughing, complaining. Life is unfair, one of them would say. The rich only get richer, another would add. What is the point of trying? Nothing changes. At first, Daniel didn't fully agree with them, but something strange happens when you spend too much time in one environment. Slowly, without noticing, it starts changing you. Daniel started waking up later. He stopped reading books he once loved. He stopped planning for the future. He started joining the conversations about how life was pointless. And day after day, he stood in that fish market. He didn't sell fish. He didn't carry fish. He didn't even touch the fish. But the smell of fish stayed on his clothes, on his hair, on his life. Months passed like this. One afternoon, something unexpected happened. Near the fish market, there was a small, quiet shop owned by an old man named Samuel. Most people passed that shop without noticing it, but those who entered never forgot it, because when you stepped inside, the smell was completely different. Instead of fish and noise, the shop smelled like roses, lavender, sandalwood, and rare oils. It was a perfume shop. The old man who owned it had watched Daniel for many weeks. He saw something in Daniel that Daniel himself had forgotten. One afternoon, Samuel stepped outside his shop and called him. "Young man," he said gently. Daniel looked around. "Are you talking to me?" "Yes," the old man smiled. "Come here for a moment." Daniel walked into the shop. The moment he entered, something felt different. The air was calm, peaceful, and the smell was beautiful. The old man asked him a simple question. "Where were you just now?" Daniel laughed a little. "At the fish market." The old man nodded slowly. "I can tell." Daniel looked confused. "What do you mean?" The old man smiled kindly. "Even though you did not touch the fish, you still smell like the fish market." Daniel looked down at his shirt. He suddenly became aware of the smell. The old man reached for a small bottle of perfume. He sprayed a little into the air. "Stay here for a few minutes," he said. Daniel stayed in the shop while they talked about small things, life, the town, work. After some time, Daniel prepared to leave, but the old man stopped him. Wait. Samuel leaned closer and said something that would stay in Daniel's mind forever. If you stay at the fish market long enough, you will smell like fish. He paused. And if you stay in a perfume shop long enough, you will smell like perfume. Daniel stood silently. The old man continued. This is not only about places. It is about people. The people you spend time with will shape your life. They will shape your thinking. They will shape your future. Not in one day, but slowly. Daniel walked home that evening thinking deeply. For the first time in a long time, he asked himself an honest question. What kind of environment am I living in? His friends were not evil, but they were comfortable being stuck, comfortable complaining, comfortable blaming life. And suddenly Daniel realized something painful. If he stayed there forever, his life would also stay there forever. The next morning, Daniel made a quiet decision. He didn't make an announcement. He didn't argue with his friends. He simply changed his routine. Instead of standing in the fish market every day, he began visiting the perfume shop. At first, it felt strange. The old man introduced him to different people, entrepreneurs, writers, people who talked about ideas, people who spoke about dreams instead of complaints. Daniel listened. He learned. Slowly, his mind began to wake up again. He started reading books again. He started waking up earlier. He started setting small goals. Weeks turned into months. Months turned into years. Daniel worked hard. He made mistakes. He failed many times. But the difference now was his environment. Instead of hearing, "You can't," he heard, "Try again." Instead of hearing, "Life is unfair," he heard, "Create your own opportunity." The smell of his life was changing. Years later, Daniel became a successful businessman. But more important than money was the person he became. One afternoon, a young boy came to him asking for advice. The boy looked lost, just like Daniel once did. "Sir," the boy asked, "what is the secret to changing your life?" Daniel smiled. He remembered the fish market. He remembered the perfume shop. And he told the boy the same words the old man once told him. If you stay at the fish market long enough, you will smell like fish. And if you stay in a perfume shop long enough, you will smell like perfume. Choose carefully where you stand and who you stand with, because one day, the smell of your environment will become the smell of your life. Moral of the story: your environment shapes your mindset. Your mindset shapes your decisions. Your decisions shape your future. Choose your circle wisely.